Hello, and thank you for watching this video. Have you never invested in commercial property because you don't think you've got enough money? Maybe you've never invested in commercial property because you don't think you've got the skills or the experience. Or maybe you've never even thought about it. Maybe commercial property is something that other people do. Well, I've got some news for you. I want to share this with you. You can do this. Commercial property offers the most astonishing returns, both in terms of cash flow, but increased value of the property. I can show you how to force the appreciation in property value. I want to share with you during this journey that we're going to take together how you can simply increase the value of a particular building. I'm going to show you one specific building from £200,000 to more than £905,000. Do you know what you need to do that? You need a piece of paper and a pen. It's called a tenancy agreement. So I want to take you through the ins and outs of tenancy agreements and how you can create enormous, life-changing, completely mind-blowing amounts of money simply. I've put together a three-step system so that every single one of us can do this. I'm an engineer, so repeatability means something to me. You are aware of the fundamental definition of insanity, I'm sure. Keep doing the same thing, expect a different result. That's insane. But if you want to keep doing the same thing and get the same result, you need to follow a system, and that system, an engineer would say, needs to be repeatable. So if you like the idea of having an office like this one day, your own team working in it, but you don't see how you can get to that place, or maybe you don't want an office like I want, because I'm a trainer, so upstairs I've got a training suite. Maybe what you want is for this office behind me, not to have my team in it, but maybe you want a pizza shop, a coffee shop. I don't know what you want, but I do know that commercial property is the fastest single way to change your life. So if you're enjoying it so far, please strap in, get a pen and paper, make some notes, because this is definitely going to be the most exciting video you're going to watch today. Hi, my name's Paul Smith. I'm a best-selling property author. I've written the Service Accommodation Success Manual. I want to share some of my knowledge and experience with you. I've been investing in property full-time for 14 years now. But that experience has served me well, and I want to share it with you. Before that, I had a blue chip career. I'm an engineer, I've got an MBA, and I ended up having some pretty high-level broad roles. And there's one in particular I want to mention to you. For many years, I was operations director for Whitbread. Why is that relevant? Well, for instance, Whitbread owned Premier Inn. Whitbread owned Costa Coffee. Whitbread have franchises for many international brands. Pizza Hut, Marriott Hotels, Baskin Robbins, Dunkin Donuts, I could go on. Why is that relevant? I'll get to very shortly. But it would be my absolute pleasure to work with you and deepen your knowledge of commercial property. Because I love commercial property, and you're joining me today in one of my offices. This is the UK headquarters for Touchstone Education, and downstairs we've got members of our local team, and upstairs that's my playground upstairs. I've got a training suite, I've got 2 training suites, and I love working with people just like you, face to face. But as this is just us getting to know each other, I've put together a series of videos, and I look forward to the day that we meet. But until then, a video introduction. Okay, so in this video series, I'm going to show you how to buy commercial property with nothing more than a signed tenancy agreement, following our three-step, simple process. I'm going to share with you how you can discover those secrets. Now you might be thinking, that sounds great, Paul, but isn't that a little too good to be true? A pen and a piece of paper, and suddenly I can be a millionaire? Well, actually you can. And I'm sure you're familiar with this expression, Henry Ford. If you you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. So up until now, if you haven't invested in commercial property, here's what I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet you don't think you can. So I want to change your mind. And more importantly, I want you to come to believe that it's true. Because the Henry Ford quote is great, but I actually think Napoleon Hill goes a lot deeper. So what Napoleon Hill said was, he said, once the mind can conceive and you can come to believe, only then can you achieve. Now at the moment, many people watching this video won't even understand the concept. So you haven't conceived. So unless you've got the concept, you can't come to believe. And therefore impossible that you'll achieve. Nobody's going to turn up at your door tomorrow morning and give you some commercial property, some shops, some offices, a factory, a warehouse. That isn't going to happen. You follow me on this video series and I will show you exactly how you can put together a commercial portfolio. Now where did all this come from? I've been blessed with extraordinary parents and grandparents. And I want to share a specific story with you that impacted me at a very early age. Very early age, my childhood age. Ever since I've known, I'm half English and half Irish, so I've got an Irish granddad and an English granddad. My English granddad was a really strong character. And if you ever met anybody, or if you ever wanted to meet anybody that thought he could, there was nobody that I've ever met that's above my English granddad. Wilf, his name was. But I didn't call him Wilf, I called him granddad. So nobody that I've ever met has had more determination and willpower than Wilf. So what sorts of things did he do? Well, like many people during the Second World War, he served his country. So he was away fighting the Japanese in Asia Pacific for like 6 years. And so by the time he got home again, obviously my dad had grown up, his wife, my grandmother, they'd been evacuated to Yorkshire. I'm talking to you from the part of Yorkshire that they got evacuated from, that's Doncaster, sorry. And he came back because he'd been determined. He thought he could. He went away as a sergeant, and he came back as a full colonel. Now, as a working class kid that worked in the docks, he was a carpenter. So because he got so rapidly promoted, when he came back, there was no internet banking during the Second World War. He came back with lots of money, relatively speaking. But it would have been so easy for him to fritter that away. So what did he do with it? Well, he bought a field in Essex. He built a bungalow on it with his own hands. He built a bungalow. He was a carpenter, so of course he's a tradesman. But he did all the brickwork. He wired it, he plumbed it, he put in the heating system. He was such a determined man that when the planners came to him and said, Mr. Smith, I know you've been away fighting in the war, but we've introduced this thing called planning consent, planning permission since you've been away. So you need to apply for planning permission. So what he said to them, and he told me this story many years later, and I believed him. I absolutely believed him word for word when he said this. He said, so far, I haven't killed any English people. It's mainly been, foreign soldiers and stuff. You stay in my garden much longer, and I might make an exception. And he never saw them again. Never ever saw them again. Years and years later, the council kind of got their own back because they did a compulsory purchase on part of his garden. He had a huge garden, acres and acres and acres. And they built a housing estate in his garden. But that set him financially free forever because although he hated it, the amount of money they gave him for his garden was a good amount of money. And that's the point in time, that's the point in your life when you'll discover what you want to do when you are completely financially free. So what did he do with his newfound financial freedom? He elected to go out into school, not to learn, but to teach. And that's where I get a lot of my love of teaching from my parents, who are both teachers, and my grandparents. What did he decide to do? He went back to the local school, local secondary school, as a carpentry teacher. Completely, absolutely financially free, doing what he loved, teaching children. So what lessons did that teach me at a very, very early age in life? ever since I'd known my granddad, he was the person that had built his own. He'd done a self-build. And he is the living embodiment of, if you think you can, but you think you can't, you're probably right. Well, actually, that's not quite right, because he's no longer with us. He lasted to 96 though, so good in it, granddad. He loved the cricket, and he did quite well, didn't he? 96. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I've never met anyone more determined than him. Let me just illustrate that one final time with a little story about my granddad. When he was 94, I went to visit him one summer. I said to my grandma, "Where is he?" Couldn't find him. And she said, "He's under the floorboards." And I said, "Oh no, you've done him in." She said, no, it's all right, Paul. He's rewiring the house." I said, "He's doing what? He's 94. I said, "Yeah, I know, but I can't stop him." So I put my head under the floorboard and said, "You all right, Grandad?" He said, "I'm fine. How are you?" I said, "I'm all right." I said, "Do you want a hand?" And he said, "Well, you were no use when I did it the first time, and you'd be even less this time. Sod off." And that's the way he was. Came back the following year, 95 years old. And this time I didn't need to ask Grandma where it was, because he was on the roof. He was re-roofing the bungalow that he'd built in the late 40s, early 50s. An incredible man. An absolutely incredible man. If you think you can, you think you can't, you're probably right. But I want to give you some concepts. I want to give you some commercial property investing concepts. Because it's too early to ask if you think you can, because you don't understand the concepts yet. And that's not your fault, and I want to explain them to you. The other thing he taught me is that invest in property, build property, put as much of your savings into property as you possibly can, and you won't become rich. Rich is when you've got a well-paid job. You will become wealthy. You will have assets that generate passive income. And commercial property is the single asset class where you've got the security, you've got the ownership, you've got the cash flow, but it's passive. And I really want to emphasise that. And as we work together through this video series, I want to share more and more of those inner secrets that I've learned from my experience, from my business life, and from my early years. Because it took me another 20 years to get to the point from the age of 3, 4 when I first met my granddad to actually start putting into practice what granddad had shown me works. Investment property. In his case, the very first investment property, land. Okay, so what is this simple 3-step system that I keep talking about? Let me share it with you right now. First, you might have heard a version of this before, so please bear with me and please write it down in this exact order. Find the properties, fill the properties, and then fund the properties. You heard a version of that before? So find the properties. I'm going to go on to where you find the properties shortly. But next, before you buy it, you fill it. Because you create the value once you've got the agreement with the tenant. And then use the piece of paper to fund it. So find it, fill it, and then fund it. Very, very different from perhaps buy-to-let investing, where you would find the property, you would fund the property, and then you would seek to fill it afterwards. It's an alien concept to be able to fill a property before you even own it. That's why commercial is so exciting. You can literally buy these to order once you know the details of the 3-step formula. Okay, so let's move on. What types of properties am I talking about? Well, essentially, everything that's not residential that's intended to make a profit. So, what sorts of practical things are we talking about? Well, offices like this, shops, factories, recycling centres, medical practices. It could be anything that isn't residential, you know, and not like a church or some sort of religious building or something. So commercial property designed to make a profit that isn't residential. But let me give you a practical example that one of my friends has just sold. He's just sold a wind turbine. Now, who would even think to buy a wind turbine, never mind sell a wind turbine? And this wind turbine he's sold up in Scotland, he's just sold it for £850,000. And it's got nothing to do with the construction cost, you know, of a big metal pole with a thing on top going round and round and round. What he's sold is the future income stream from all the electricity that it's generating. So instead of X amount of money, tens of thousands of pounds per year for the next however many years, he's crystallised the value of that now. So commercial property is many, many different things. So that's what commercial property is. Why would you want commercial property? Why would you want these kinds of commercial property? Well, if you know you've already filled it before you buy it, and therefore funding isn't a problem. And we need to talk later on in this video series about how a commercial valuation arrives. Because very often it's not bricks and mortar. Because how would you do a bricks and mortar valuation on a wind turbine? You wouldn't, would you? There are no bricks and there is no mortar, but clearly it's got a value. So what's the formula? How do you determine what a commercial property is worth? Well, an empty one is virtually worthless. So if you've got an empty one, or how about this? Any property that doesn't exist is also worthless. I'm sure you'd agree. So if you've got the agreement with the new business and you build to order, you're creating value from something that doesn't even exist yet. So you can't have a bricks and mortar valuation because once again, there are no bricks and no mortar, or roof tiles, or concrete slabs, or anything else. So these types of property are literally a thing of beauty. Empty commercial shells that either exist or don't, but the point being, they're empty. And even if they're not empty, if they've got an inappropriate business in them, if they're being used suboptimally, you can create huge value. And we'll go on and I'll explain all of that as we work together. So that's why you might want them. Huge increases in value, massive cash flow. And some people get that, but here's where they get stuck. They don't know where to go to find them. So for today, I'll give you 3 ways that you can find them. Way number 1, walk around your patch. Look at empty commercial properties, but do it with new eyes. Because most people walk around their patch, you're like, hey Paul, you're not really giving me much value here. Walk around my patch. Yes, but walk around your patch with a different vision. Instead of going like this, it's like that. Because now you're looking for empty commercial property, or run down commercial property, or property that's perhaps, you know, not being utilised. A friend of mine runs, or owns, here in Doncaster, the shop that's used by the BBC in open all hours. Now, in open all hours, I'm sure many of you know that, it looks like a greengrocer's. You know, David Jason and all that, and film crews, they transform it, they shut the whole street. I've been there while it's been filmed. But it's not being utilised by the BBC. It's a very tired, run-down hairdresser's that is actually opened 2 days a week. And it's run by, you know, a lady that's not in her first flush of youth, let's say. So who would have thought of buying a run-down hairdresser's and renting it out to the BBC for the last, what is it, like 20 years or something? Open all hours has been on. And it makes an absolute fortune from that. So could it be a film set? Is that a commercial property? Yes. Have I ever had one of my properties used as a film set? Yes. So I want you to do this. I'm not saying I want to run off and buy wind turbines and buy film sets. I'm just saying that we need to broaden our definition of what commercial property could be. So where would you find these? How would you find these? I said I would give you 3 ways. And the first one was walking around. So we've done walking around. I guess you get that. Second thing to do, and I've done this, is I've bought commercial property. It was actually an office from the distressed assets division of a bank. It was actually RBS, so you might want to write that down. All the banks have got distressed assets divisions. In this particular case, the solicitor that was in it was a very, very good, strong, established trading business. But the landlord had managed to go bust. He'd moved bankrupt. Why? I don't know. I never met him. But I do know that he'd gone through some sort of a messy divorce, and you know, there's all sorts of things going on in the background. And there's always a story. Go and find your bank or the banks local distressed assets division and see what they got. Because very often they've got a property that they just want shot of, and it's got an existing tenant in it. So how about that? Bargain basement properties with good tenants. Does that sound like a good mix? But here's number 3, and this is the one that you really need to write down. Vast majority, I'm going to say 80% plus of commercial property is not on the market. Why not? Well, imagine you've got a chip shop with a big for sale sign outside, not good for business. Imagine you've got a hotel with a big for sale sign outside, not good for business. Who's going to go stay or book into a hotel if they don't even know if the hotel's still going to be there when they arrive? Because very often the landlord is selling the box with the occupant as a going concern. He's monetising, or she's monetising, the value of the tenancy, the value of the tenant in the property. So most commercial property is off market. So what you need to do, and this is the most powerful way of all these 3 that I'm giving you, you need to form a relationship with a commercial surveyor. Why would I want to do that for? Is a commercial surveyor not just the person that values commercial property like a residential surveyor does? Yeah, they do. But they also sell property, they buy property, they negotiate for you on property, they find you tenants, they do all of these things. So please, because the word sounds similar, never mistake a domestic surveyor for a commercial surveyor. They are completely different skill sets. So a commercial surveyor is almost like they're a below market value deal packager. They're an estate agent, they're a letting agent, they're a brand magnet, all rolled into one. So you get the right commercial surveyor, they're going to be friends for life. So, 3 methods: walking your patch, distressed assets divisions of banks, and commercial surveyors. I got a load more for you, but you know, I don't want to overload you at this stage. So for now, for this video, let's just say do one of those 3 things. And the one that I think is the most important, the one that I want to really encourage you to do, is contact a commercial surveyor. Okay, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of how do you find a commercial surveyor to work with you for the rest of your life. That might sound like a daunting prospect, so let me just take you through the steps. Get yourself onto the RICS website. It's the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, so it's RICS.org, RICS.org website. Yeah, just Google it. When you're on the home page of RICS, there's a button that says Find a Surveyor. So click that, put your postcode of your town in, and then what to do next is about halfway down the right hand side, there's a button that you hit to toggle between. It will default to residential. There's about 6-7 different types of surveyor, so just hit the one that says commercial surveyor, and you're done. What that will do is it will bring up, I don't know, depends how big your town or your city is, it will bring up, if you're in a small town, it could be 2 or 3, or if you're in a big city, it could be 103. And if you need to broaden the postcode radius search just a little bit more, then you will find commercial surveyors active in your area. And I want to set you a little bit of homework, if it's okay. What I want you to do is find at least 5 commercial surveyors and book an appointment to go see one of them, to try and understand how you take your first step towards finding those fantastic opportunities for you to make life-changing amounts of money that are hiding in plain sight. Okay, so that's it, or almost it, of this video. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of days, and what I want to take you to in the next video in this series is why brands or brand owners, so a brand owner like Whitbread, why would it want to work with you as a partner? Because they need your help. So why do brands that Whitbread or other companies own, like Costa Coffee or like Pizza Hut, why do these brands need your help? And why are they willing to work with you to enable you to turn a property from 200,000 of value to 905,000 of value with nothing more than a signature on a piece of paper? If you like the idea of that, tune in next time. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul. See you in a few days.